Hey guys, it's been a little while since we've had a Nightfall Q&A, but I got some new questions lined up that you guys have asked that actually require more than 2 sentences to answer, so let's go answer some questions. Keep in mind that you can always ask me stuff over at ask.fm/hellodatto at any time, and I try to get to as many questions as I can. First question, don't you think that sword blocking takes up way too much sword energy? I realize that deflecting a Nova Bomb in PvP should take up a good portion, but when a boss shoots at you and you try to deflect, it chews through a ton of ammo. Too much? I think the price of reflecting in PvE could be toned down. I remember trying to do a Templar reflected damage only kill as a challenge mode, and we sliced off about 40% of his health while we were like 5 minutes into the enrage. I don't know if it was just designed to be this haha funny moment PvP thing, of which I think it's sorta okay in PvP, but I would love it for it to be somewhat viable as a PvE option. Not necessarily killing bosses only with reflect, but just make it a little more flexible. There could be something game breaking with it that I'm just not realizing as well though. But in general, PvE reflect ammo could be loosened up. PvP is okay, it's just in a not great spot since you only get so much ammo in PvP. Next question. I may come off as an elitist snob, this is the person asking the question saying that, but I think Destiny needs some kind of reward that's incredibly difficult to get. I feel like there's no uniqueness in the game. For instance, you and your team were the first to get Outbreak Prime, now there's a ton of people running around with it, and I would just like to stand out. Thoughts? I'm in agreement, but I will provide some perspective as well. To you and I, it seems like everyone has the Outbreak Prime, and a lot of people do. But that's because we follow the game much closer than many other people do. We're on Reddit, and YouTube, and Twitter, and Twitch, and all this stuff, and we play a lot. So in the smaller, hardcore Destiny community, it seems like stuff like exotics are everywhere and that everyone has everything and it's all super easy. When I say hardcore, I mean that in the way that you follow social media-based things on Destiny. You do more than just play Destiny, but you research it. Then we start to look at the broader picture. The people who follow nothing, the people who just log on for an hour a couple of times a week, those people have basically nothing. I'm more than willing to bet that an incredibly small percentage of the entire active population has Outbreak Prime or even the means to obtain it. It just seems like everyone does because we surround ourselves with similar-minded and similar interested people. So while I am in agreement that I'd like to see even harder stuff, I just want to provide some perspective. You're probably like me in that you'd like to see some stuff that among the population of people that I'm familiar with, only a small fraction of those people are able to get those kind of rewards. But now we're dealing with fractions of people, and that's where content development gets tricky because not many people will utilize it. I think what would be more beneficial is to create rewards that take significant time investments as opposed to skill investments. This way, the people who play a long time or are really good can get some cooler stuff to chase long after content is dry, and the people who don't care just don't need to bother with it because it won't feel like they're missing any content in the game. Next question. For the raid, what's better, 2 Shadowshots or 1 Shadowshot and 1 Celestial Nighthawk? For the entire raid? For 99% of groups, I feel like 2 Shadowshots is going to be more beneficial. Using Celestial Nighthawk for max damage is fine when your group is really comfortable with the raid and completing it, but otherwise, 1 Nighthawk isn't really going to push you over the damage edge. Now, if you have a lot of hunters, like 3 or 4, and you're all awesome hunters, then yeah, those Nighthawk shots are really going to add up. But for the average group, I would say Shadow shots are more than fine. Next question. I think Bungie did a good job on the Aksis challenge because it is incredibly difficult for casual players. This is much harder than any other challenge. I would say that they did a good job only because they actually did something that changed the encounter in a significant way. To most people, they introduced a new mechanic that was basically irrelevant in normal and hard mode. So to most people, they've done something that they've never done before, introduce a new mechanic, which is something that I think they should have been doing in the first place for any sort of challenge mode. It's the closest thing to an actual challenge mode that we've ever gotten, but to those players who were already aware of the supercharge mechanic and were actually doing it, it is still just kinda whatever. Also, I would say it's not hard for casual players, but less skilled players. I really dislike this notion that casuals are bad players. Casuals should be a time investment perspective, not a skill perspective. I know plenty of good casuals and bad hardcores. Next question. Datto, can you please start doing regular loot videos, like one every week? I'm pretty sure you're one of the most well-known people in the community, and people would like to see the stuff that you're getting. Please, Datto, please. Yeah, see, the problem with that is that I've shunned and mocked them for so long that starting to do them now would make me a massive hypocrite. Tune into my stream on Tuesdays if you want to see the loot that I get. In retrospect, it was basically a move that threw a bunch of free money out the window, but I'm probably going to be sticking to my guns on this one unless I somehow get a consensus from my entire audience that they would like to see them. And then this person asked a follow-up question. Datto, I asked you earlier about doing loot videos. Why did you mock them? Plus, do them anyway. No one would really care. If you really want to do it, then just do it. There's no way you'll be getting hate for it. LOL. Well, I beg to differ. Nowadays, I don't really care as much about loot videos and mocking them because I've matured a bit more and I realize that people like different stuff. I've also learned how desperate for content I will inevitably become, and something like a loot video every week would be the easiest thing in the world to make, not to mention that it's basically free money. But as to why I shunned them in the past, it's because I used to have this mindset that every video needed to be this wealth of knowledge and had to have so many hours put into it, and that since loot videos were so easy and mundane, they couldn't be worth my time. I have since fallen off that cloud in the sky and I've landed back to Earth, maturing in the process. However, Destiny loot videos are not like other loot videos from other games. You look at case openings from something like CSGO or Call of Duty. There's super rare stuff in those crates. CSGO has stuff worth hundreds of dollars, with Call of Duty having super rare stuff as well. It can be very exciting to watch. Destiny doesn't have those kinds of things. There's no Suros knife to go get. There's no diamond grasp of Malak. Loot gets boring quickly when you're at the highest levels. While leveling up, sure, it could be pretty exciting to go get new stuff, but for the rest of the year, it's just not. Even for stuff like Festival of the Lost, you can buy $50 worth of loot packs and get everything, probably. There's no excitement or mystery there when you know you're going to get everything. It's exciting when you pop a CSGO crate and could walk away with a $500 knife at any moment. If Destiny ever gets that sort of breadth of items, then I would consider. I think I absolutely would get hate, but only if it replaced a video during the week, and even beyond that I would get hate anyway, let's be clear. I don't know, I'm very weary about it, and I think the only way I would do them, like I said, is to have near unanimous votes saying that I should do them. If I did do them, they would go up on the weekend or something like that, since I don't usually do videos on the weekends. If you have any sort of input on that, just leave it in the comments. Next question, what's your favorite video among all the Destiny videos that you have made? Also, is there a video that didn't get the attention you thought it would or it deserved? Thanks and congrats on your success. Rating 101, back before Destiny even came out, is still my favorite. I spent probably about 40 to 50 hours making it, and it turned out really well. In terms of actual video production, it's definitely that one. I thought it was very well written, and it brought up a lot of good stuff at the time with regards to rating in Destiny, and I'm still very proud of it. In terms of the experience, it's probably Touch of Malice or Outbreak Prime. There was nothing special about producing either one of those videos, it's pretty rudimentary, but the experience behind both of them, being among the first in the world to get both weapons, is super crazy. The one video as of recent that I'm bummed didn't get more attention is the 12-man raid for King's Fall. For, let's just say, reasons, I had to delay the video for like 3 or 4 days longer than I really wanted to, and I should have uploaded the highlight reel first and then the longer version afterwards, but I did it the other way around. But since it was so close to Rise of Iron, people just kind of shrugged it off, and the videos were also kind of pretty long too, so yeah, that video took so long to edit and like so long to plan logistically that to have it just kind of silently go by was a really huge bummer. Another set of videos are the Naxxramas in Destiny videos. I probably worked about 40 to 50 hours putting both of those videos together, where I took a World of Warcraft raid and looked at how it could possibly be developed into Destiny, and they didn't do very well either. The first one did okay, the second one did not, so that's why I stopped doing them. Just the interest just wasn't there. Next question, do you think Xur should sell exotic shards again? Many of my friends are new to Destiny and are struggling to get exotic shards. Thoughts? The good side to selling exotic shards is that it's much easier to level up exotics in general, it feels like a quality of life addition, and casual players can struggle much less with upgrading their weapons. The bad side to selling exotic shards is that it makes the exotic upgrade path that much easier that it doesn't become a conscious decision to upgrade an exotic. It just kind of becomes a standard thing with no actual decision making behind it. I think if he were to sell exotic shards again, that they should probably be a little more expensive. They used to be, I think they were 7 strange coins, which is nothing now. Next question, if you could redo anything from your life, what would it be? Definitely not sell my first World of Warcraft account. That's a huge regret that I have. On a more serious note, I don't know really. I kind of like the way my life has gone thus far, and if I changed anything, I might not be where I am right now. I honestly don't think I could be in a better position if I reflect on my entire life, unless I made a ton of changes to it. There's, stuff with relationships that I know probably could have gone better, but I was just a dumb teenager who didn't know any better. Yeah, I don't know, other than those kind of things, like those relationship kind of things, I don't think I would do anything that would really have any sort of significant impact on my life. Final question, or I guess this is more of a suggestion. Datto, you should make another one of those PvP meta videos like you did with Year 1 and House of Wolves. Yeah, it's probably not going to happen. A lot of people believe that since I am not the greatest at PvP, as evidenced by comments every single week in my Trials videos complaining that since I'm going to the Lighthouse, there's no way I'm actually good, it's just all my opponents being terrible, that there is no possible way that I have any understanding of the meta, the game, or anything revolving around PvP, despite the fact that I have lived and breathed this game for longer than it has been out. Now, I'm not an amazing PvPer, but I do know my way around. That being said, I do not have any current or near future plans to discuss PvP in any analyze the meta sort of way, or anything that encompasses the game as a whole for PvP. Gameplays, sure, discussion of certain weapons or armor, fine, but a thoughts on the meta video would drive absolutely zero conversation and would just bring Datto sucks at PvP, who cares, comments, and I have no interest in getting bashed. That is your Nightfall Q&A for probably the next little while. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.